Hello, and welcome to our hands-on Intella tutorial. Today, we are focusing on a vital aspect of network security for Intella Connect and Intella Investigator, implementing SSL certificates. Join us as we guide you through each step of securing your Intella platforms, ensuring that your sensitive data is transmitted securely. Let's start by understanding how DNS and IP addressing work with SSL to protect your data. DNS translates human-friendly domain names into IP addresses, the unique identifiers for network devices. Because of DNS, we can type in a web address instead of the IP address. Both work and point to the same machine, but a human-readable name is easier to remember. SSL uses this system to encrypt the connection between your Intella server and the user's browser, safeguarding your information. With SSL, you encrypt the information between the browser and the server, and even if bad actors listen on the network, they cannot see the data being transmitted. An SSL certificate is needed for each server, such as Intella Connect and Intella Node, even if they are part of the same domain. Each server requires its own SSL certificate to establish a secure and verified connection. Remember that the SSL certificate is to set up a secure connection between devices. For this reason, you need a separate SSL certificate per server. Remember, DNS settings can be modified at the domain registrar. This is the organization that manages your domain name. Within your local network gateway, this is, for example, your modem or gateway. Or on individual machines via the hosts file. This is a file that configures only your computer to go to a specific IP address when you enter a domain name. Choose the method that best suits your network configuration. First off, if you haven't got a certificate yet, we will guide you through the process. You can create a certificate signing request, commonly known as a CSR. This file contains all the information about the domain you want for your Intella server. When you're ready to buy a certificate, you just send this CSR to your certificate provider. Just follow the steps in the wizard to complete and download this CSR file. Now, let's talk about configuring SSL from scratch. We're going to start the Keystore Wizard. In your Intella admin dashboard, navigate to the SSL settings and click on Add New Keystore. Choose a unique name for your keystore to help you identify it later. Now you need to choose a strong password for the keystore. Remember, it's not recoverable, so keep it safe. Also, assign a separate password for the private key within the keystore. In step 2 of the wizard, you'll see an option to start from scratch. Go ahead and select that. We'll be using a commercially available certificate authority for this video. This is the organization that'll create the SSL certificate and key for you. Moving on to step 3, you'll need to fill in your organization details. The crucial part here is to select the correct host. This is the name you'll use for this machine. Remember, SSL will only work for this domain. The other details are required fields for your SSL provider. Once you've filled everything in, hit Next. The last step gives you an overview of tasks to complete inside and outside of the Intella application. At the end of the wizard, you'll see an option to copy the instructions to your clipboard. It's really handy because you can paste these steps into a document for future reference. Once you finish the wizard, you can download the CSR file by hitting the download button. When you get all the files from your certificate authority, you can add them to this keystore. Now, let's say you've already got a certificate. We'll look at how you can add it. Depending on where you bought your SSL certificate from, you'll receive a certificate and a private key. It's important to remember that you need both of these. Just the certificate on its own won't work. When you're given options for downloading your private key and certificate from your SSL provider, make sure to make the right choices. Opt for the RSA certificate in PKCS8 format, encoded in PEM, and ensure that the certificate itself is in X509 format, also encoded in PEM. These specific formats are crucial for the certificate to function correctly. If you've already got an SSL certificate and private key, we start the Keystore Wizard again. Navigate to the SSL settings in your Intella admin dashboard and click on Add New Keystore. If you did not already create one, choose a unique name for your keystore and a strong password. Remember, it's not recoverable, so keep it safe. Also, assign a separate password for the private key within the Keystore. In this scenario, we already have a certificate and key file, so we choose the second option. I have bought one already. You'll need to confirm that you have both the private key and the certificate. Then you'll be asked if you want to use a public certificate authority. If you have your own internal certificate authority, pick the second option. For this example, we're going with the public certificate authority option. In step 3, paste the content of the private key, ensuring it starts with Begin Private Key. Do the same for the certificate, which should start with Begin Certificate. If your key and certificate don't have these headings, they're in the wrong format. Apply the settings, and the wizard will list any additional steps required to complete the installation of your Keystore. Take a moment to read what you need to do next. You can copy the content to know what to do after the wizard finishes. You might need to add another certificate. This is very common when you buy a certificate from a certificate authority. You, for example, need to add the root CA certificate here. If so, click on Add and select the type of certificate the warning message refers to. If there are no more warnings, you can hit Activate and restart your Intella services to activate the SSL certificate. We recommend you to click on Apply to save the current state of the Keystore. After you restart the service, check if everything works by using HTTPS and your domain name. If there's an issue, you'll be notified. You can now open your Intella Connect or Intella Investigator in a browser and see the green lock icon, indicating that your connection is secure. Congratulations, you've successfully configured SSL for your Intella platform. You can purchase SSL certificates from providers like DigiCert, Komodo, GoDaddy, GlobalSign, or Namecheap. Evaluate your options and choose a provider that meets your security requirements and budget. By following these steps, you've taken a significant step in securing your Intella platforms with SSL. Each service on separate machines requires its own SSL certificate, and now you know how to set it up. Stay secure and thank you for watching.